Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. Today, guys, another watch review for you. This is a watch that goes by the name of Wotsen. It's W-O-T-E-S-E-N, and this is another Aliexpress special, and pretty excited. I absolutely love getting Aliexpress specials like this. Pretty incredible. So let's check it out, and I'll tell you a little bit about the watch. Again, there's not tons to say about this watch or any watch really on this channel. You know, ultimately my reviews are pretty simple. They're more like show and tells. You know, I generally will do a review of a watch. You know, years later, I always come back to products if I have any kind of issues with them. But ultimately, you know, when I think of a review, I think of, you know, somebody talking about a product, maybe putting it through some tests, and really with a watch, there's not really much you can do with a watch unless you want to pressure test it, you know, really kind of abuse it and see how long it lasts. But we don't, you know, we don't do that on this channel. We just want to share these really cool, fun watches or products, in this case a watch, and just, you know, let you guys know my impression of it. What do I think? You know, what do I think about the value? And you know, that's really about it. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I like to keep it raw, unedited, uncut, you know, just like we're here BSing in my office, you know, the real world stuff, because real life is not edited and pieced together for a perfect flow, right? So what you see is what you get. So let's talk about this amazing value. Now, again, the brand's Wotsen, and I think I'm saying that right. As far as reviews, this gets 4.6 stars out of 5 on Aliexpress. I'm going to tell you about, you know, the fit, and I'm going to show you what it looks like on the wrist, of course, and I'm going to compare it to another Nautilus Homage. If you're not familiar with the word Homage, or some people say Homage, Homage, basically an homage is in terms of watches, is a nice way of just saying it's a copy, right? Generally, when we do things that are, you know, usually when the word homage is used, kind of in a honoring manner, it'd be like, well, there's a let's see, there's a Michael Jackson performer dancing like Michael Jackson in homage, because they're basically dancing like him. They're showing off his style the best they can, and they're doing it in appreciation of the artist, right? They're doing it to share, you know, their skill set and in appreciation of somebody who brought this, you know, to people's attention, that brought this, you know, to light, right? And so really with these watches, you know, generally this watch, when you have a copy, they're not really paying respect or paying homage to the original manufacturer. They're basically just copying it, making a simple, affordable design for people who don't want to spend, you know, I don't know what these cost, $30,000 for the actual AP Nautilus, right? I'm sorry, I always get those two backwards. The Nautilus. I always get confused between AP, you know, that's the Royal Oak. I have that one too. Not the Royal Oak, not the AP, the Patek Philippe Nautilus. So sorry. So my bad. Anyways, you know, those watches are extremely expensive, and I think that's one of the most I think it's the biggest rip-off to spend that much money on a stainless steel watch. I've said it many times on this channel, and I think that what blows me away is the kind of value you get for this price point. And are you ready for this? $25 shipped to your door. It's available in a whole slew of colors, and what's really cool about it, when you look at other companies making, and there's all kinds of companies out there making Nautilus Homage watches or Nautilus copies. And remember, when we actually, I just want to be clear too, when we're talking about copies, a watch is not a fake or a replica if it doesn't say the name, right? So we refer to these as homages, right? They say a different name. They're just copying the style of the original watch. Now, a replica or a fake is actually one that will say the actual brand name of the product they're trying to copy. Generally in the watch community, in the watch world, there are no replicas. There are fakes and there are homages. A replica is usually a remake or a licensed copy of the original that says, you know, it would say, you know, God, I always screw this up. It would say the actual brand's name. So let's just say we're talking about a Rolex. It would say Rolex. Say, oh, this is not a Rolex. This is a replica of the Rolex, right? And it's a licensed copy of the remake. That's done a lot of times. Like, for instance, I brought up before, like my Rambo movie sword. It's not the actual one from the movie, but it's just like it. It says Rambo. It's a licensed copy. It's a replica. with something like this, with watches, there are no licensed replicas of any watch to the best of my knowledge. You have Homage watches and you have fakes. So this is Homage, of course. What I love about it is that there's no other companies that I've been able to find that have a Nautilus Homage watch with the gemstones. I haven't seen anybody doing it. This is the only company, and what's incredible about this watch, again, is the price point. I do have sitting here another watch by D-Dun. This D-Dun's a very popular, again, another Nautilus Homage watch. You find these all over Aliexpress. You can find them on eBay. The Wotsen you're not going to find anywhere but Aliexpress. So again, link in the description. If by the time you watch this video they pop up on eBay, great, but I would get it right from Aliexpress, because if you find it on eBay, you're going to wait just as long for it, because generally it's coming from China anyway. So, when we compare, and this watch here, for price point, I compare this brand, and a lot of these Asian brands are, you know, they're all like the Pagani designs. A lot of those brands are all just the same watch under different branding. Sometimes there are slight, subtle differences. Could be the crystal's a little different. The bezel might be a little tighter. This doesn't have any kind of rotating bezel, so it's irrelevant. But, you know, this watch is a fantastic piece, and this watch is going to run you about $75 or $80, again, if you get it through eBay, which is where I got mine. This particular one is an automatic. I think this is a seagull movement, but I don't remember exactly what it is. It might even be, if I remember correctly, a Miyota, not a Miyoda, not a Miyoda. So a lot of times these companies are creating, and you have to be careful, because it is a little bit, you know, I don't want to cut any brands down, but it is a little bit deceptive when you have a company stating, like in this case, I remember it said that it had a Miyota movement, with a T in the description, or on the title, but then when you actually go to the description, it said Miyoda with a D. So it's basically they're renaming a copied Miyota movement, and you know, to the person who doesn't know, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with this, but you want to make sure that what you're buying is what's listed, right? You don't want this bait and switch kind of bullshit that goes on quite often, unfortunately, with a lot of these overseas sellers, and we're going to get to that. Well, not all the time, but it's just something to be aware of. So when we compare the quality of this watch and this watch for $25, these are identical watches. I mean, if you didn't flip this over and we didn't have an exhibition window in the back, and I just want to feel the quality and what you're getting for money here, these two watches are pretty much the same watch. Again, just slightly differences are the movements, and of course the colors and the crystals. Weight is identical. Screw-on case back. These watches are, in my opinion, the exact same watches under different brandings. Again, different movement, but it is absolutely incredible that one costs $80, another one $25. I cannot believe the price is so low on this. I can only assume that they made so many of these, and they probably wanted to bring it in at a higher price point, and they just didn't sell for whatever reason. So, incredible. Here's the downside. It is a quartz. And there's nothing wrong with the quartz, but the problem with a lot of these listings, and this is the same one I bought it from, the seller, and I will link to them, but just be aware that they list this as a men's automatic mechanical watch. And when you get it, it's not going to be mechanical. So I had the expectation I was getting an automatic, you know, and you get it, it's a quartz, and that's disappointing. The other issue with a lot of these sellers is that when you buy something from them, they'll list that they have it in stock, and then you'll go to wait, and the next thing you know, they'll send you something different. So in my case, I actually ordered the brown face version of this, which I think with the rose and that brown face was the best looking version that they had. A couple of the other versions I really like are, and they have these, just to let you guys know, they have the silver on black with black face, silver white face, silver blue face, same color blue. They have that kind of silver and brown face. Then they have the silver with a nice silvery gray kind of charcoal face. Then you get into the rose tone variations with the white face. You can get it with the blue, the brown, and of course the gray. Now, when I ordered the brown, and I waited for a couple weeks, and the watch had not been shipped yet. So I emailed the seller or messaged them through their platform and said, hey, you know, what's the deal? Is this going to ship? And this is what burns me up a lot of times with these companies or these sellers, is that they didn't have the common courtesy to come back and say, hey, we don't have this in stock. So I had to reach out to him for him to tell me, oh yeah, we don't have that. Well, it's like, thanks, we're going to wait another 2 weeks before you did anything. So he says, you know, I can refund you, or I can send you something different. He tried to offer sending a silver. I said, no, I don't want the silver one. I want the rose tone. You know, do you have the gray in stock, you know? Language barrier there, so I sent an actual picture of the gray face variation. It said yes or no, really basic. And he says yes. So to my understanding, he was sending the gray-faced watch. Confirmed that that's what's going to be shipped. I get it, and it's the blue-faced version. So two things we have. Not automatic like listed, and it's the wrong color watch. And I wouldn't have chose this color. Now, it's not bad. It's not ugly. Wasn't my go-to, though. I might have maybe tried to get it from a different seller. But it's still only 25 bucks. Not a big deal. I was compensated for this, and that's a great thing about Aliexpress. Sellers need to understand that if you try to pawn something off on somebody that they didn't order, that you could come back and lose money on that. Now, I know he's not going to go broke over 25 bucks, right? But still, nonetheless, I'm sure he wanted to make a sale and not lose money on a sale, right? Which is what he ultimately did. And that's the important thing to note when you do order from places like this. It's good to send a message, but a lot of times, because of that language barrier, you're not really sure what you're going to get. Hopefully, you deal with a seller that is going to send you exactly what you ordered, but there are no guarantees. Nice thing about it, again, the Aliexpress process for a complaint is really streamlined, and you know, there is no language barrier there. Like, you have people, you're communicating with people who understand what you're saying, what's coming across. It's a lot easier to get your money back or to send the watch back. Now, that's the problem with overseas. You know, it's too much money for us to send stuff back to China. It's going to be more than the watch costs, right? So a lot of times you go into a negotiation. I've had cases where, you know, I get a full refund. Other cases were like, nah, we're going to pay to have you send it back. And I negotiate, say, or what you know, what can we do to keep it if I fix it, right? Maybe half off, whatever it may be. But and a lot of times I order, there's no issues at all. So just kind of depends. It is kind of hit or miss, but that can be said with any eBay seller, right? If you go on eBay. And Amazon too. I've had it happen on Amazon. So, but still an incredible watch. You have those awesome faux gemstones. They're probably just cubic zirconium or crystal. The size of these is so small though, and it makes me laugh a lot of times when you have guys who are like, "Oh, you can tell the difference." You can't tell the difference on diamonds. Like, you can't. You're not going to have anybody call you out that these aren't real diamonds. Now, again, you do me. I'm not one to try to claim things are real when they're not, right? If somebody asks me, "Oh, those diamonds," I'm like, "No, they're crystals," right? That doesn't affect me at all, or my confidence or anything like that, because I'd rather just tell people $25 than to try to pawn it off as something it's not, right? And it's just, you know, I'm not dissing anybody if that's your game. You like to do that. You want to wear a fake watch. You want to wear fake diamonds. Whatever makes you happy, you do you. I'm not going to say anything about it. It's none of my business. But for me, I get a lot of pride in being like 25 bucks, you know. But it is incredible what you get for the money, because this watch is, if you look at all the different Homage Nautilus watches out there, Amazon, eBay, you know, streamlined sellers on, or not streamlined sellers, but like crowd-funded sellers, a lot of the Kickstarter campaigns, the social media sellers. I can't think of any names off the top of my head, but they're pretty much all the same watch. Now, I don't want to overgeneralize, say it's a guarantee, but from my experience, a lot of these watches coming out of China are a lot of times the same watch with their different branding. Now, again, that's not going to go back to the old Invicta argument where guys are like, yep, those are on Aliexpress for $50. No, they're not. There's no Invictas on Aliexpress for $50, right? But there are situations where that does happen. This is one of those situations. So, I mean, it's incredible for $25. I mean, I love the watch, even though like I said, I got refunded on it. You know, well, even if I didn't, it's just an amazing value, and I would have been happy really with any color. But it is about the principle, and if you're going to sell something, I'm the kind of shopper that you are going to, if I buy something, you're going to send exactly what I bought. That is the deal, and I don't break my end of the bargain. I pay you for a specific product. I expect that product, or we're going to have a problem, right? But overall, I encourage you to check out the listing. I'll put the link in the description. It is a killer watch if you're in the market for a really affordable, you know, homage watch to the Nautilus, which I think that, you know, whether you like that particular brand or you would spend that much money on that watch, or you think it's a ripoff, whatever your taste, I think if you're a watch collector, we all like to have something in our collection, and I think that homage watches are pretty fun as well. You get the look of the actual super expensive counterpart for a fraction of the cost. And honestly, you know, I'd be honestly hard-pressed if you put this watch next to an actual, and some of you watch snobs out there are going to crucify me for saying this, but I've seen enough watches and felt enough luxury watches in my time to say if you put this next to an actual real Nautilus, there's not going to be much of a difference, you know. Now, again, if the one is made of real gold, there's going to be a substantial weight difference, but as far as the quality, it is absolutely incredible what you get for your money for $25. So, And this watch, I have to tell you, when we look at affordable watches that I've gotten from eBay, Amazon, all those different brands, this one is one of the most impressive for the money. I mean, it really is. Because I have watches like the Biden watch I just reviewed. You know, it's $38, but you can feel that there is a difference in the quality comparing to, you know, Invicta Pro Diver, Aragon, Bulova. With this is on par with all those brands, right? So it is incredible. Any Invicta you can throw at it, this is on par with it. Aragon, Bulova, Citizen, this is a great watch. Only downside, it would be nice to have that automatic movement, but nonetheless, still incredible value, and I encourage you to check it out. It's a fun one to have in your collection. All right, so a little bit more about the specifics on the watch. There's not really too much to tell. Lots of great pictures. You can see all the close-ups. The stones are fantastic. I don't foresee these things falling out. I can't tell if they're actually prong set and glued, but they are slightly recessed, which is great. I don't know if you can see that from the video, but you know, you're not going to snag them on anything. They are recessed between the edge of the bezel and, of course, the crystal. You have a little bit of protection in there. It's incredible. I like the watch so much. I do want to pick up another one, you know, probably in stainless steel. It's just an unbelievable value. I keep going back and saying, all right, they're going to raise the price on this. They're going to raise the price on this, and it's still $25. It's unreal. It really is unreal. I don't know how they make any money on it. The pictures, what you see is what you get as far as the quality and you know, the different colors. The pictures are very accurate. Again, you may get the wrong color, but what you do get, if it is going to be accurate, right? God, it's just I should have gone back here because I'm probably going to buy the silver one today. Pretty nice. But as far as the specifics, it does say stainless steel. It does have high quality quartz movement, 150 grams in weight. Gender men, that's, you know, that could be, a woman could wear this easily. Strap length 19 centimeters, dial diameter 40 centimeters or 40 millimeters. So incredible. It does say on the back of the watch, water resistant, 3 ATMs, all stainless steel, and it does say sapphire for the, just a sapphire. So it doesn't say sapphire crystal, it says sapphire. So I'm not sure if it is. I do have a diamond detector. I left it at my folks' house. We were kind of dinking around, playing around with it. So I didn't get a chance to test this, but I will and put it in the description if I find that it is an actual sapphire crystal or what I believe to be a sapphire crystal. But again, guys, you know, I've never scratched any watch that I've ever owned. So that's really about it. Not too much else to say about it. Incredible value. Let's go ahead and throw it on the wrist. So I'm about 5'7.5". I weigh about 178 pounds as of this morning. My weight generally fluctuates now between 177 and 182, depending on the time of day and what I eat. I tell you, you know, I eat quite a bit, and you know, I've been hitting the gym pretty hard and working out, but that weight just really seems to stay the same. So one day when I come on here, I might be 160. I'll always let you guys know so you have an idea of what it looks like on a guy my size, my height, my weight. My height is 5'7.5". Again, that's flat-footed. And again, 7-inch wrist. So this is what it looks like at my size, right? You know, again, I said in many videos, as Invicta lovers, and those big oversized timepiece lovers, we start to get a little desensitized. I think it's nice to have a variety in your collection, you know. This is definitely a very classy looking, you know, basic size, not over the top watch. I think it's just a great looking piece. You know, when we look at a lot of these higher end luxury pieces, right? You know, when I look at Rolex, you know, I have a lot of homage watches to Rolex as well, but, you know, I just really appreciate all the different designs. You know, but something like this, if I had to choose between the looks of like a Rolex Submariner or this, I definitely lean towards this. It just has a great look to it. I think it's a much better looking, a lot more unique looking watch than a Rolex will ever be. And that's subjective. That's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. Doesn't mean I don't wear those other watches, but this is just an incredible value. And it would have been really nice to have gotten that brown face, but you can see the blue is still nice too. It's not like it's, you know, like it's terrible or anything like that. It, you know, matches jeans, which is what I generally wear. So just a great piece, guys. And I think if you add this to your collection, you will definitely be thanking me because you really shouldn't pass up this value. Again, if you are in the market for a Homage Nautilus piece, if you don't care that it is, you know, it does have the gemstones or the rhinestones or crystals, and you don't care that it's a quartz, you know, this is a value. It's almost it's almost impossible to pass up. If you are in the market for something, you know, and you're looking at a quartz watch like this, I mean, you gotta pay $80 for it. I mean, this is pretty incredible. You get 3 of them. I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. Now, just to show you the difference, though, on the wrist. Let me go ahead and throw what the hell name is D-Done watch on the wrist, and we'll see what that looks like as well. Oops, open this up a little more here. You know, I do prefer the automatics, but it's cool. It's not a big deal. I mean, they still work. They work better, honestly, the quartz, but there you go. Now, I know some of you guys aren't really into the stones, but remember, even if you're, even if the stones wasn't your go-to, they're very subtle. You know, they're not big, huge, over-the-top stones. You're not going to look like, even from this distance, it's pretty hard to see them. So, I definitely, for the price, if you're in the market for a Nautilus Homage, and you were leaning towards just not having stones, you want something like this, I mean, I would still, for the price, you really can't pass it up. I mean, it's one of the watches in my collection of the 160 or so I have that really almost impresses me the most. I just don't know how they could produce something like this and sell it for $25 and give you this kind of quality. It's one thing when we look at like Pagani's and Invictas, be like, wow, that's incredible too, 99 bucks. But this for 25, I don't get it. But hey, take advantage of it while you can. Who knows? The price on these may jump. You never know. So anyway, guys, that's about it. Wotsen, check it out. Links in the description. If you do like the content, and why would you not, subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate you guys taking the time to watch and listen to me talk about these great products. If I can help you guys in any way whatsoever, again, drop me a comment, drop me an email. I'm always here to help you guys out. If you do, appreciate the content, you do find value in the content, those links are affiliate links. When you go to Aliexpress, wherever they take you, if you do make a purchase, I do get a small commission back. So thank you for that if you do that. But I always say buy where you feel most comfortable and where you're going to get the best value and the best service. And generally, though, when I give you these links, this is where I buy. So, hey, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Take care.